Hey, welcome back to another Slightly Rednecked video. Again, my name's Chris. If you're not familiar with this channel, I do help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or heck, even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. Today we're in the kitchen. I'm going to be making some quail fajitas. I almost forgot what I was making. And I've already got most of the stuff prepared here. What I've got here is some mushrooms, because I like mushrooms in my fajitas. I've got some onions and some peppers. Typically you use bell peppers with this, but I'm going to be using poblano peppers. I've taken out the seeds and the flesh because my wife doesn't really like the spice all that much, so you could leave those in if you wanted to. And I'm going to be cheating with the actual seasoning. I'm using McCormick fajita seasoning mix. Pretty simple, pretty easy. You could make your own if you wanted to, but this is the way I'm going to go with it. I want to bring you in close, show you how I'm preparing the quail, and then we'll get to cooking. All right, let's see if I can work around the camera here. All right, so what I've got is a bunch of quail breast right here, and this is pretty easy to do. I've kind of shown this before, but first thing I'm going to do is remove the legs. The legs come off pretty easy. I mean, it's just pretty much skin right there. There's one little bone in them, but you can kind of work your way around that bone. It's right there. If you work your way around that, it's harder to show than it is to actually do. And then they just come right off. And I left some of it behind, but that's okay. And then what I don't really take the meat off the legs. There's a lot of tendons in there. There's not much on there. But you can save these legs, sprinkle them with a little bit of seasoning, throw them under the broiler for 5 minutes, and they're a pretty good little snack. You get 1 or 2 little bites out of them. So I'm going to put them off to the side, save those for something else. And then let me remove the other leg real quick. All right, so what I'm going to do is take the breast off this quail, and there's the the breast bone right down the middle. What I'm going to do is just take the tip of my knife, you don't want to cut real deep, and just score that. And you can follow that down, all the way down, and then follow that bone around. It goes all the way around like that, cut all the way through. So I've got my breast cut. And then just lay my knife on the side, work carefully, don't cut yourself, and just kind of peel that back and cut as I go, following the breastbone. Or the backbone, well, I guess it's the breastbone, not the backbone. And gotta be careful right there is the bone. And you can get it to come right off. And then I'm just going to cut it in half. Now let me do the other side real quick. Again, right down the breastbone. Follow that bone around, cut it open, peel that back. And there we go. Cut that in half. And that's it. So that's what I've got is a whole pile of meat here. This is probably about, I think it was 8 birds total. So it's probably close to a pound, maybe, of quail meat right there. Okay, so I've got my skillet heating up here over, medium, maybe a little bit hotter than that, medium-high heat. And you're going to need to add some oil. Either you could use olive oil, you could use whatever kind of oil you like. I'm going to use bacon grease because I just like bacon grease. That's pretty much what I cook with. So let me get that heated up. About a tablespoon. Need quite a bit to keep everything cooking, keep it from sticking. If you've got a well-seasoned cast iron pan, it won't stick too bad, but still, a little extra fat never hurt anybody. Okay, so my oil is my fat's all melted, all ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the peppers and the onions. I'm just going to throw them in, kind of stir them up a little bit. Let these cook for, I don't know, probably 4 minutes or so. You don't want them real soft, but you do want them cooked. Okay, it's been about 4 minutes. I'm starting to get a little bit of char, starting to get a little bit of color on these, so they're looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add the mushrooms at this point and let these cook down just a little bit. Alright, so we got the mushrooms cooking down just a little bit. They're going to be cooking a little more, so they'll still cook down. So I'm just going to kind of spread all these vegetables out to the side, give myself a little bit of place to put the meat. Normally, if you're cooking this with chicken, you're going to cook the chicken ahead of time, like start it a little bit ahead of time, but quail cooks so fast, I don't really find that that's necessary. So I'm going to add the quail here. And when you do that, you're going to want to keep turning it pretty regularly. And that's probably going to take oh, I don't know, another 5-6 minutes, something like that, depending on how hot your skillet is, to get the quail done. Okay, so the quail's pretty much done at this point. I'm going to stir it all together. And then I'm going to go ahead and add our seasoning here. What I've done is I've taken my seasoning mix, mixed it with just a little bit of water. Now you want to be careful anytime you're cooking with a hot cast iron skillet and you're pouring water into it. I'm going to pour it slow, and I'm going to pour it all the way around over the top of the vegetables. Pouring cold water in there can actually crack your cast iron skillet, so you just need to be very, very careful. Alright, and then stir that up real good. I'm going to let that cook for, oh, probably another 5 minutes or so. Let that reduce down just a little bit, get rid of some of that water, that liquid in there. And then they'll be pretty much ready to go at that point. Alright, those are looking pretty good. I think they are ready to serve. From this point on, it's just serve them up in some nice warm tortillas with a little sour cream, guacamole, and some cheese maybe. A little salsa if you want, whatever. And you're in for a pretty good meal. Well, I know many of you have been asking for some more cooking videos, some more ideas on how to use your quail and your rabbit in your everyday meals. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you try it out, what you thought of this. And thank you so much for watching. As always, God bless.